We're back on Valley Ag Weekly. We're here at the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro. And joining me this time is Andy Lorman. Andy, you're Sophie's dad.
Yes, I am.
And we're pretty proud of her. She's learned a lot about bees over her short lifetime, right?
I'm very proud of her, yes.
And she's actually gone up and spoke in front of some bee experts.
Yes, the first time when she was 13, she spoke at a bee conference, a fall conference for the beekeepers of Indiana, and spoke in front of a room of about 80 people, so I was pretty proud.
Oh, yeah, well, you should be. Well, let's talk a little bit about the end result. We talked about bees with Sophie. The bees come back and make honey. How do they actually make the honey?
Well, they collect pollen and nectar from flowers, and they come back to the hive, and they store that pollen and nectar, and then over some time they have something called a honey stomach. That's some people have said that honey is a bee vomit.
Yeah, right. I've heard that.
It's not really true. It's not going to a digestive stomach. It's just a chamber that we call a honey stomach, and they pull it out with a long straw-like tongue that they have, and they hang it out in front. And they draw the moisture out of that nectar, and eventually it becomes honey.
Well, and they actually put the honey in the combs. Do they make the combs themselves?
They make the combs also. So a certain age bee will hang in the hive, and then wax actually comes out of the layers in their abdomen, and other bees chew that and create the comb. And then when they backfill that comb with the honey, an interesting thing is that they know when that honey reaches the right consistency. So when it hits 18% moisture content, they cap it over with wax, and at that point, it's good. There's no shelf life.
What are they doing? Are they? Is that food for them? Are they storing that? Is
Absolutely.
That what
they are the ultimate hoarders.
I
so
see.
They will store that honey up. You know, sometimes you might think, well, the beekeeper is just coming along and robbing out the honey, but actually we leave about 90 pounds of honey on the hive for the winter, so they have ample amount of honey, and the bees are very happy to just continue to keep bringing it in and bringing it in. So
they like to work.
You know, a colony could create 100 pounds of honey extra in a year, a good colony. You know, so 50 to 100 pounds of honey that we can take and still leave them 60 to 90 pounds.
And how do you actually get the honey out of the combs?
Well, when the bees have capped over that honey in the cells and it's reached that 18% moisture content, then we take those frames out, put it into a honey extractor, and centrifugally spin the honey out of the comb.
So it's mechanical then?
Right.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the bistro here. You've got a nice little store here. This is kind of neat.
Yeah, we opened April 7th, and we have the Beestro. It's Beestro. So my wife is a great cook. She's come up with all these recipes. We use some honey in those recipes. And so we've got about 32 seats here, and it's a real comfortable place to come and enjoy a meal.
Very homey, very homey. Do you actually have honey for sale? Can people come in and buy honey?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we carry honey in quarts and pint jars.
Is there a difference in the honey? I know we were talking before we went on the air here about light and dark honey. Is there a difference in the taste?
I think there is, and you have to be a bit of a honey connoisseur to notice the difference, but with a blind taste test, surprisingly, people like darker honey as opposed to the lighter honey that comes in the early spring.
Does the color have anything to do with the type of flowers that the bees have gotten into?
It sure does. It has a lot to do with the type of flowers that the bees have foraged on, and then mostly we just call it wildflower honey because it's so many variety around our area. So they're hitting the trees and flowers and as well as the hay fields.
Dandelions and the clover.
Dandelions, and don't cut down your dandelions.
That's right. The bees, it's good food for the bees.
That's right.
Before we wrap it up, tell us, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere here off of 59. Tell folks how they can find the bistro.
We are, if you're familiar with the 4-H fairgrounds on State Road 59 south of Brazil, we're exactly 1 mile east of there. So if you just go a little bit south of the fairgrounds on 59, you'll see a little sign at Airport Road pointing our direction. And we're just a mile over on Murphy and a little bit north of
And
Airport
you have some
Road.
signs on the corners there kind of directing people in.
Yeah, there's a big sign out front at the end of the drive.
Well, you want to stop by and take a look at the bistro because it is quite quaint. And also they have some bees on display. You can actually see the bees through the glass. So Andy, thanks for joining me. I really do appreciate it, and good luck with your beekeeping.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, and tell Sophie I said thanks too.
Okay.
All right. You've been watching Valley Ag Weekly. I'm Barry Kent.